Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and in this video guys, I want to talk about mods. And I've been trying to do this for like a day now, record a good video on mods for you guys, and so we're going to be going through what I've identified as like the 5 phases of mod farming. It's going to start from like the very beginning of the game for you new players, right, to the end game for players like myself, right guys? So stick around because I think there's some really good content here. Mods are definitely the most complex, frustrating, and confusing parts of this game. However, they are one of the most important parts of the game, right? That, mods will make or break your roster. And I've seen a couple of comments about people thinking that some of my other guides were like too complex or whatever. So I wanted to kind of try and trim it down for you guys, give you some clear, concise phases to shoot for, and hopefully give you some, I don't know if it's advantage is the right word, or but just give you a path forward, right guys? So before we do anything else, we must first praise our King Wampa. Guys, if you want to see Wampa hit relegate, if you want to see the King hit relegate, all you need to do, guys, smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. You guys know the drill here. Wampa may not always be in our team, but he's always right here in our hearts. All right, so let's talk about mods. So I've identified, as I said, 5 phases. So your first phase, right, for newer players, like this is the beginning phase for you. Focus on just getting mod sets. So these characters here are just ones that I have some different mod sets on, right? So we've got offense, crit chance, crit damage, potency, speed, health, you name it, right? Your phase 1, you're just worried about the set. Don't worry about whether it's got, X, Y, or Z speed, whatever the case is, right, guys? That's because in the beginning of the game, you just need mods, right? Mods will make your characters better regardless of if they're the perfect mod or not. They're going to make your character better. So phase 1 early on, just focus on getting sets, right? Build sets, put them on your characters. You'll figure out as you go along that, attackers mostly want crit damage or offense, right? You kind of work your way through that. There are so many other guides out here, guys, to show you like individual characters. I have a bunch too. This is just saying like early on, focus on sets, right? That's the first thing you do, right? So number 1 rule, just focus on getting some sets, right? So as you start getting some of your mod sets, right, you'll start realizing that, I want to get a little bit more specific. And that's when you start focusing on the primary stat of the mod, right? So, the example we'll use here with Darth Revan, right, is I went ahead and said, I want speed, I want health, but I also want these mod primary stats, right? So I went through and I did those for Revan, where he wants offense, he wants health, maybe some damage, crit damage or something, right? So find the mod sets that work for him with those primaries, with echo, right? Potency, speed, just going through thinking about what's going to make him tick, right? Mandalorian, he wants all crit chance, right? So we've got the good sets. Then I went and made sure that all of the mods here, had that crit chance where it was, right? Like your next phase is just getting a little bit more specific and saying, okay, I've got mod sets. Now I want to get the primaries right for the character I'm going after. I think this is the smarter way to do it because I know what a lot of you guys are thinking right now as we're in phase 2. Why haven't I mentioned speed a lot? Remember, early on in the game, not every mod you get is going to get speed, right? Speed is something that happens over time. And so your first 2 phases is just about building a mod inventory. Some of those mods are going to have speed. Some of them won't. That doesn't mean you can't use them or that you can't cycle through them, right? Because as you guys will see, what you're going to end up doing is, what used to be your best mod may become your 5th best mod at some point. So you're going to move it from character to character to character as your needs change. But what stays consistent is that mod, right? That like, if I just go to my Darth Revan here and I pick this mod as an example, right? If I don't ever touch this mod again, it is staying right here, right? That it is staying at 21 speed, 13% defense, the crit chance and the protection, right? Regardless of what happens in the game, this mod stays consistent, right? And I can move it from Revan to somebody else if I get a faster mod that I want on Darth Revan. And that's what makes mods so much more valuable at times than gear, is that you can move a mod from character to character, right? So, side note there, right? So now you're into phase 3. Phase 3 is when you focus on speed secondaries. And this will be the longest phase. Like I would say your phase 1 and 2 is in your early stage of the game, right? You're just focusing on getting mods on your characters, right? Like you've got all your mods, you've got every character has some decent mods on them, right? Now it's time to worry about, do you have speed secondaries? And that's it, right? You're just focused on speed secondaries. Don't get caught up in, at the, galactic power I am, right? I'm looking beyond just speed. But that's because I'm at the point where I have enough mods with just speed on them, right? So for example, I love using this one on Yoda right here. It's got a little bit of potency, but like 2 flat stats, speed. This is an okay mod, right, for Yoda. It's not great. I could probably find a better home for this mod. Here's the thing, though. It's fast, right? And that's it. Like, same with this one, right? Like, these are not great secondary stats for Grandmaster Yoda, but it's a fast mod, so I kept it. So you just worry about speed, and you'll find the characters where maybe your secondary stats aren't going to play as big of a role, so you're willing to give them a faster mod, maybe without a secondary stats, right? And that's where this phase 3, this is kind of going to be your biggest, longest phase, right? The most of your time will be spent in this speed secondary phase, because what's going to happen is eventually you're going to get to the point of, okay, all of my characters have at least a 5 speed secondary mod. So now I need anything more than 5. Then you'll get to, okay, I need anything more than 7, anything more than 9, anything more than 10 to 12, 14, 15, 20, whatever, right? You'll get to that point where you have enough mods that you start getting pickier and pickier about what speed is good for you. Again, very long term, right? Some of you guys, like, any speed is great. Somebody like me, I'm at that plus 10 or above, right? That's what's going to help me. And even plus 10 isn't helping as much as it used to, but that's kind of my make or break right now is, 10 speed. So, once you get into this point, let me pause here. Once you get through to phase 3, phase 3 is almost like a constant. You just raise the bar each time, right? So you're never out of this getting speed secondaries. You're always in speed secondaries, but it's about raising that bar up, right? You got to pump those numbers up. They're rookie numbers, right? And then you're going to move into phase 4. Phase 4 of mod farming is about I call it double secondaries, right? It's when there's, whether it's speed or, there's 2 secondaries on that mod that make it really good that you want to keep. And I want to use Wrecker as an example here. So this mod right here, it's got potency with a protection primary, which he wants protection. And then it's got a ton of defense. It's got health percent, which, I didn't roll, but it's there. And then it's only got 11 speed, which is pretty slow. However, the potency and defense on here made me want to put it on Wrecker, where I had enough speed on him through some of these other mods that I was willing to sacrifice a little bit of speed for the potency and defense and make him a thicker tank, right? And this is a huge part of understanding like this double secondary, right? Is if you come up to this mod, right, we're kind of doing the same thing where there's a ton of potency here, so we're sacrificing some speed. Then you come over to this mod where there's a ton of speed, still a good bit of potency. This is a fantastic mod for Wrecker, right? Like this really turned out well for him. So, you're focusing on those double secondaries with characters like these. And I wanted to use these ones as more examples, right? Where, you'll see here on Commander Tano, like we've got the speed and we've got offense to help her, right? Speed, offense and health, right? Where there's kind of those, you're working through it and thinking to yourself, okay, these are secondaries that really help. Like Jedi Master Luke here, the protection is what I really want. The health is okay, but the protection and the speed are really helping him out. It's that double secondary phase, right? That you're worried about more than just the speed on that mod to make it good for the character, right? You're worried about the mod, that there's more to it than just a single speed secondary. This phase kind of happens almost like right after phase 3 that you'll start, okay, I got a good mod. Oh, it's got a good secondary. Who can I use that on, right? But it's not one that you just like go right into, right? Like don't get so picky that you're going to toss away any mod without decent secondaries. You're going to find characters who can use them. But my recommendation, right, is find the character, like when I get a mod, and let me go into I'm going to pause here, guys. Just give me a second. I want to go into my mod store real quick and see, because my store's refreshed here. And let's see if there's anything. It's not worth buying. 3 speed, not for me anyway. It's not worth buying yet. Nothing worth buying for me in here. But like, let's say this mod, you were going to buy it, right? The first thing you do before you buy this mod is think, who can I use this on, right? So who do I have that has speed sets and protection? Okay, my Jedi Master Luke, Shock T does, my Geonosian Brute Alpha, right? Like, think of the characters you can use this mod for. And understand that, like, if it stays at 3 speed, is it of any use to you or not, right? That's the way you need to think of mods, right? You know, if you're going through the stores, just understand whether or not you can use them, like who it's going on, right? And that's why I wanted to pause here at the double secondary is when I get a mod with, you know, protection, offense percent, and speed, I'm immediately thinking like Maul, Lord Vader, you know, Jedi Master Luke, right? Those are my gut reactions for them. So again, guys, just wanted to put this out here, right? That's when you talk about this double secondary phase. I spent a little bit more time here, but I do think this is a phase that's important to understand how it works. So then finally you get to phase 5, which I call like fine-tuned, right? This is when you have mods that are like so specific to that character that like nothing else makes sense. So a good example with my Darth Malak here. Where's the one? This mod right down here. So protection percent, health percent, defense percent, speed, tenacity. Those 5 things are all stuff Malak loves, right? Like he loves those 5 stats. All of these help him, right? It's fine-tuned for like, I could not find another character that's going to benefit from all of these stats like Malak is, right? Same thing with this one up here, right? These are the exact same stats as this mod down here, just, you know, different, you know, buckets, but they're the 5 stats that he wants the most. You know, they're fine-tuned for him. You know, my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, this mod I love showing. So it's got a little bit more tenacity than I would like, but 6% offense, not as much offense as like the primary, right, which is 8%, but I'm getting 6% offense on a secondary with the 42% crit damage and then some speed here. And this is like a great mod for Kylo because I'm almost getting a full offense percent secondary inside of my, you know, with another crit damage on top of it. Like it's a double, you know, it's a dual threat mod, right? This one here, right, again, fine-tuned for Kylo. More offense, health, speed. Down here, more offense, speed, right? What I look for, like this one, look, offense percent. I'm losing 7 speed, but I'm gaining a full offense percent, right? The secondaries aren't the greatest outside of the speed, but again, you know, for my Kylo, this has worked really well. So when you're fine-tuning, it's all about finding mods that are going to fit that character's specific needs and knowing that, like, there's not a lot of other characters in my roster that are going to benefit from this mod, right? Like, there's not a lot of other characters where I'm running a speed set and then want offense too, right? Like, it doesn't happen that way. Similarly, like with like Commander Luke Skywalker, you know, there's not many characters where I would value tenacity as much as I'm valuing offense, right? Or, you know, like, yeah, like his, like most characters, if I saw this tenacity, I'd like cringe. But for Luke, that's really helpful, right? With the way I run him. You know, same thing up here, right? Like, so, you know, your phase 5 kind of comes into play when you start, like if I'm telling you when to worry about phase 5, it's just kind of when it happens. Like you'll just find that mod that you're like, oh, this is perfect for this character. I'm going to put it on him. That's fine tuning. And all of these phases that I've mentioned, right? They're going to happen. Like it's not like it's, you know, 1 million GP, 2 million, 3 million, 4, 5. That's not the way this works. It's more so like when you're farming a mod, right? Your step 1 is, okay, I'm farming the mod set, right? I'm farming speed sets. Okay, I got a potency that I want to give to my Mara Jade or Echo, right? Okay, there's speed secondaries on this. You know what? I'm thinking that, you know, those, you know, that Yoda could use some speed, right? Like you're going to go through and figure out which character each of these things, you know, revolves around and kind of use these phases almost as like a, you know, when you're looking at a character, first think of what sets they want, then the primaries, then the speed secondary, then worry about if there's double secondaries, and then can you find a finely tuned mod for that character. So I know I threw a lot at you guys, but I do hope this helped kind of iron out the way I think of mods when I'm farming them, buying them, whatever, right? That the first thing you're doing, okay, what are the sets? What are the primaries? Okay, speed secondary comes next, right? That's the next most important thing is my speed. Is there a double secondary I can take advantage of? And is there a mod that's like so perfect for that character that I'm going to equip it, right? If you guys follow this process, I am willing to, I don't want to say guarantee because I know people will somehow mess this up. So just put it out there, guys. I'm not trying to throw shade. I'm just saying that, guides get messed up all the time, right? But I am willing to bet that you guys will find more success with your mods if you think through it this way rather than trying to chase a speed secondary and then try and figure out what primaries and sets to use. Like if you follow this, guide that I have here, I think you'll find a lot more success. I think you'll find mods a lot more enjoyable, a lot less confusing. And I think you'll start seeing mods and thinking, oh, that'd be really good for this character right away because you're going through those phases almost like, instinctually, right? That you're not even like, it's just, unconsciously happening that you're like, hey, I see offense, I see this, I see that, boom, this character. So that's the video, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. As always, I want to change it up for a little bit. I want to change this up for a second here. I want to give a huge shout out to all of you guys. This year has been fantastic. We have grown so much. I want to give a huge shout out to Danny Mueller. He was the first one to really help me get my Discord server up and running. Danny, you've been amazing, man. So special shout out for you. And then obviously I got to give 4 huge shout outs here to my buddy Bednar, Kala, Gilby, and Mahir. You guys, as much as this, me making videos started as a joke, here we are now. So thank you guys so much. As always, if you guys want to see more content like this, all you need to do, smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. I love all of you. May the force be with you. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.